Hey guys, welcome to another training. This training is for six-figure coaches, consultants, and service providers and agent owners. In this video, I'm going to share you how you can craft 4 lead-generating LinkedIn posts. This is part of a bigger strategy that helps you generate leads to your LinkedIn inbox daily. If you haven't seen the first 2 videos, the first one is on how to create a LinkedIn content strategy, which allows you to generate 5 figures worth of leads in 45 to 60 days if you apply all the things that I share. And the second video is defining how you can, or listing out how you can find your ideal client audience on LinkedIn using LinkedIn Advanced Search. So if you haven't checked those 2 out, I would say I highly recommend to do so. You will find the links to them in the description below. Also, if you want to have me set up the system for you, so the system in order to create content and generate leads through LinkedIn, send me a message on LinkedIn and then we can have a chat. So before I dive into how to create 4 lead generating LinkedIn posts, I want to quickly dive into the preparation because we want to make sure that we build this type of content with a solid foundation. Because in order for us to write a LinkedIn post that generates high quality leads, there are a few things important for us to be clear about at the start. Who are we writing for? What's the ideal outcome? And what's the step you ask the reader to take? So trust me, having those questions listed out for you makes the creative process much, much easier. So the favorite way for me to do this is like through a 5-step process, which I listed out here. First, who are we writing for? What do these people call themselves? What problem do they have? What have they tried so far? Secondly, we want to speak about their biggest frustration. What keeps them up at night regarding the problem they face? Because the bigger the pain, the more likely they're willing to take action. Thirdly, we want to make sure that we have a clear understanding of their ideal future. So, what does their ideal future look like? But also, what does life look like after they worked with you? Firstly, or firstly, it's not a word, but step 4 would be to write out the plan. So what are the 3 to 5 steps you take your client through from beginning to end? And then lastly, you want to say what is the next step to take in order for your piece of content to make a cohesive element. So let me give you an example. So if I list out for one of my avatars, the who, it will be an online coach or consultant who makes 6 figures a year, sells a 4-figure offer through other platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok, but is unable to generate leads through LinkedIn. So as you can see, I have a better understanding of who I'm writing this type of post for. I'm listing out the biggest frustration. That might be that they are spending 2+ hours on LinkedIn with a 0% ROI. The ideal future is they want to get to a situation where their content fills their inbox with leads. I also want to like list out, okay, what's the 3 to 5 step process that I help them get from painful to desired states. So it would be helping them narrowing down their who, their avatar, understanding the problem they solve, helping them create content that showcases their experience, growing a strategic audience, and optimizing their service offers and funnel. And then lastly, I want to make sure that in this type of post, this lead generating post, these hand raisers, I want to make sure that I leave my reader with a clear call to action. So in the end, I'm like, hey, if everything that you read sounds good to you and this is something you want to take action on, DM me the word or take action like this. So now, these, like listing out these 5 steps are not giving you a full post, definitely not. But at least it gives you a good understanding of who you're writing for, what the ideal outcome is, etc., etc. So you want to try this out before you start writing your post. Will it be perfect? Perhaps not. But could you ride a bike the first time you tried? I don't think so. So, okay, with that being said, let me dive into the 4 templates. So every template I have I start with a little bit of context. Then I give you a real life example. I break down the format and I show how I use that for the example I gave you. So it's pretty intense. I would recommend you to pause the video at any point in time to just take some notes in order for you to, I would say, get the best understanding, and in order for you to start implementing these frameworks and templates for yourself as well. So the first example is I start with a very simple question. Because I do this, I draw the attention of my reader. Secondly, I list out the current and often painful situation for the ideal client. Then I speak about the desirable situation, the better outcome. I agitate it a little bit to make them really feel the pain. And then I'm like, hey, this is the plan. This is what we can get done together. And of course, as you can see, I end up with a final call to action. So a post could look like this. Hey, I've got a simple question for you today. Do you want to have 200 likes on every post with 0 DMs, or 30 likes per post but getting 5 DMs in your inbox? I know by posing this question that I ask my ideal client, I let them think. It's like, hey, do you want to have this current situation, which you might have, but are not leading to the results you want to have, the inbox, the DMs, sorry, or do you want to move towards a much better and a much more preferred situation, the getting the 5 DMs? Because I know for my ideal client, that's something they want to have. Secondly, I dive a little bit in. Okay, engagement is great, but likes are not gonna pay you the bills. It's time for change, and you know that. So I'm really like agitating the pain they feel. Then I'm really diving into like, hey, I know you got this problem. I might have a solution for you. So this is what it looks like. So a week from now, I'm starting with a group of people to help them turn their LinkedIn profile into a lead generating asset. This is what we get done together. I got 3 spots left. I expect them to fill out this week. Here's the call to action. Send me a DM with the word inbox and I'll flick you over the details. So a post like this is built up in this way. So you want to draw their attention, create contrast, highlight the fact. Again, listing out these things already will give you a really good post, but of course then you have to add your creative storytelling skills in order for you to make a really succinct post. To take it one step further, here you can see exactly how the post that I've written is broken down. So like I said, I start with my audience attention. What I'm gonna ask you is simple, and so forth. So say if this is something you want to like take notes of, pause the video and take notes because I'm heading to the next example at the moment. So the second one really ties into the frustration because like hitting your ideal client or your audience on their frustration is a really powerful way or in order for you to get their attention, but also to make them close, to move them closer to working with you. Uh, because you want to make them really aware of their current undesired situation. And it can be short in 3 to 4 sentences, but the goal is to really highlight how they feel right now and highlight this current pain. Then, of course, you want to hint at a potential solution and you add a few pieces of evidence to back up your claim. And again, you finish up your post with a little bit more of the work you get done together and you make it really clear how you want your ideal client to take action. So if we can look at the post here, I lead with the like a big frustration I know lives among my audience. Tired of putting time and energy into LinkedIn to only get 4 likes and exactly 0 leads while you know you're an expert in your field. I know if my ICP, my avatar, reads this, they're like, yes, this is what I feel right now, and I would like to make a change to this. So as you can see, I dive directly in like, hey, let's put an end to this suffering. I'm putting together a group of experts to help you solve this problem. This is what we got done together. Here's a big important element. Like I add social proof and results of people I worked with on this specific offer because sure, I can tell the world I'm the greatest is what I do, but if there's no data and no results for me to back it up, it's a really empty claim. Then I add a little bit of social proof here as well. Like, hey, there are already people in here. And if this is something you want to do, let me know because then I can give you more information. So if we look at the format, again, writing these out already give you a really good post. You want to highlight the top frustration of your client. You want to give them hope that there is a better world. You want to expand on the solution. You want to tell what you get done together, etc., etc. Again, say pause the video now if you want to like take some notes of this. I think this part might be a little bit more interesting because here you can see exactly how I build up this post. So I would say I highlight the most pressing frustrations. I hint at a better future. I share a preview of what life could look like. I help them understand the work we get done together, a little bit of education there. Like I said, here's a big important part of the social proof. I go back to the ideal future. Here there is like an element of scarcity, and I add the element of social proof, like, hey, there are other people here, so trust the herd. And again, the call to action is important. And this is something I try sometimes. Like I want to make sure that the thing that I'm offering is not free because everyone in the world wants free stuff, but not everyone, of course, is willing to pay the right amount to join a program, a service, or a product. So sometimes you want to make sure you want to highlight that. Again, make sure to pause the video if you want to like take notes here in order for you to craft a lead generated post that really dives into the frustration of your ideal client. Thirdly, a desirable situation. So where in the second template I spoke into much more of like a frustration point, so more of like a negative emotion. In this case, I can speak into the desirable situation. And with this content, I really want to make sure that my ideal client envisions what life could look like the moment they start working with you, and also the fact that they miss out on this thing, like, hey, what's the cost of inaction here? So in this example, in this post, I spoke about the fact that people stopped caring about LinkedIn over the holidays. This was back around Christmas days, but now it's time to pick up the pace again. So here I really dive into like by then it was a hot topic of New Year's resolutions, and I dove into that because people see like other people killing on LinkedIn. They know there is big potential, but there is a big problem. There's a tiny problem. You're not able to put the pieces together. So I'm kind of like shifting like a desirable situation. Like, oh, I would love to kill it right now, but there are a few things I have to I have to overcome first. So as you can see, it's a pretty long post. I'm not gonna like dive into here specifically. I think this part, the format is a little bit more interesting for you. And together with that, let's go to the breakdown. I start with drawing my audience attention with a simple one-word sentence. Like this is often like a good contrast, especially on the busy timeline of LinkedIn. Then I use a common used objection my ideal clients tell themselves or me why they can't take action. Yeah, well, I will start after the holidays. Not always the case. I generalize the post a bit because I know everyone kind of like has New Year's resolutions, but not everyone follows up on them. I gave some examples why this objection hurt. Here in step 5, I expanded on the problem and I showed my ideal client how this shows up in their life, because by doing that, they can actually visualize it like, hey, I can't put the pieces together. I can't put the content, the engagement, the email list building, and the conversion. It's a lot. So then I'm like, hey, I continue and I visualize this in even more examples. In step 7, I'm like, hey, there are a few different things we can do. You can either keep struggling and most likely give up, or you can keep struggling and look for help, or you stop struggling and you look for help. Because by doing that, I paint this desirable situation, which in the beginning I hinted at. Then in this part, I really go down on like the plan, like, hey, I'm putting together a group of experts. You can you can see that this is relatable to the first 2 templates. A little bit of a disclaimer, like, hey, this is not going to be easy. So I need to have some people that have X, Y, Z. Again, I add here that others are already in the group. I'm adding a little bit of urgency because I know FOMO drives decisions, or sorry, deadlines drive decisions. And again, I end my post with the call to action. Again, pause the video here if you want to like take notes of the format in order for you to come up with your own own lead generating post. With that being said, let me dive into the last template. And this one is a little bit different than the other 3. Like the first 3 were much more of like, I already got a offer that's validated, it's running, it's out there in the world. With this one, you wanna gauge the interest and demand for your product or service. So it's a little bit earlier in the process because it's really important for you to have your idea validated by the audience before you start building it. So in this case, let me go straight to the format. I create contrast by addressing the undesired and painful situation, and I showcase the desired the future, which is often a desired and pleasurable situation in the beginning. So I say, hey, before I need to promote my business more on LinkedIn, I know that's an objection or like a thought my audience has. 30 days later, this writing streak on LinkedIn is really paying off. So I really like create contrast by my audience at this point might be, and where they in 30 days, if they take action on what I have to tell next, can be in life. I agitate the pain here because by not having the desired outcome, people still struggle. Here, there's an interesting one because in step 3, I share my idea. So for reference, this is like a lower ticket product that I launched back in February. So I was thinking about putting together a training that teaches business professional how to build a LinkedIn habit and one that allows them to position themselves as the experts they are to grow the service business. In step 4, I shared a little bit about the things they hate. So no paid ads, no scammy engagement bots, no massive cold outreach. We leverage the power of problem-solving content and authoritative content with a sprinkle of personality at least. So in this case, I listed out a few things that I knew my audience dislikes. Again, step 5 for me is always a big thing, like a disclaimer, because we don't try to be perfect to everyone. So we have to be a little bit more specific there. Like with this product, I can't do the work for you. So you have to take action yourself. Then step 6 is like the validation step. So, hey guys, if I put this together, would you like to join us or be interested? So now in step 7, I'm like, hey, if you are an expert and interested, DM me the word 30 days. I'm happy to share more details. And then in step 8, to avoid most of like the tire kickers or the people looking for free stuff, I'm like, hey, this won't be free, but it also won't take you like allows you or forces you to take like a second mortgage because the price will be like around $100. So I'd say use this template as to validate ideas because without validation, you don't want to build stuff because you often end up building the wrong thing. And with that being said, I'm at the end of this video. So make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel because more trainings like these will come your way. I'm aiming to launch a training every week and some trainings in there in between. Again, if you want my help in order for you to set up a content system like this, so in order for you to craft hand raiser posts like this, like lead generating and authority building pieces that drive high quality leads to your LinkedIn inbox, make sure to send me a message on LinkedIn. All my information is in the description below. And with that being said, I will speak to you on the next one.